Really makes sense. When we start this, you'll actually see their startup animations. There it is. There's the one Ken doing his startup animation famously from.
And Ryu does his taunt from Street Fighter 3.
Yep.
Third strike.
Third strike for him, and then also third strike for Ken. I think his animation also had that in Alpha, right?
No.
Did he have the
third strike was the one where they ended up he slapped them.
There you
that go. Taunt. That was a slap taunt. I keep trying to do a parry on those things.
But yeah, I didn't pick up on this. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, and I didn't pick up on this until months after the game.
Like after it was pointed out.
Yeah, after it was pointed out, I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, totally. That's Ken Ryu. That's hilarious.
Oh, here we go. Let me get him
So clearly, the people that made this game, like everything about this game, is the dictionary definition of a labor of love.
Oh, most definitely.
I totally feel like this game will stand the test of time as
well. Oh, most definitely.
Like, the way that we still get really excited when, like, something like Gunstar Heroes or Metal Slug is re-released on a modern console. One, not just because, like, those games are easy to port and everybody knows those, and they're similar in genre, but also just because the staying power of those games because of the art style and the music. Like, this is totally in that same... fucking level.
Oh, damn it.
Fuck! I tried to fucking catch you on it too! Of all the stages that we had trouble with, I did not think that this would be the one.
Well, I mean, these are supposed to be difficult.
This game is very difficult.
Yes.
It has... And it's funny.
Now, mind you, we're a little discouraged because there are videos out there just like
people fucking
doing it
speed runs and
with like all the counters and not getting hit. It's there. We know.
Right.
Oh, I forgot to take a look at what the images for that one. Let's see. But anyways, oh, you know what?
Oh no! Why?
You mentioned Fleischer and Fleischer Studios. You didn't mention Fleischer Studios, but. Fleischer Studios is actually how we were able to get lightsaber battles for Star Wars.
Yes. So another fun fact about Fleischer, and it's really cool that you bring this up, the connection to Star Wars is that he actually, if you've ever heard the term rotoscoping, he invented that.
Yes.
And that term comes
and that's still being used.
And it's still being used today. Actually, it's taken on kind of a new definition, but it's still very relevant to how it originally started, which was he invented a machine called the rotoscope, which was they would take film that they had recorded of their of live action film, and then they would use a projector and project that onto large glass plates away from the film, far enough away that it would enlarge the picture, and then they would trace the individual frames of that video on the glass plate, and they would use that to make the animation frames. And what it did was allow them to get this realistic style of animation that was not impossible, but very incredibly difficult to do just by hand. Now, it's funny because I'm dying while I'm explaining this fucking history lesson, and you can do nothing about it.
Yes.
At least you can focus on playing while I'm talking. He had originally developed it with the intention of it being an easier way to animate things that were really difficult to animate. He thought it was a shortcut, and as they started doing it, they realized it was actually more time-consuming and more difficult to do than traditional animation, in that because you had to draw every frame, you had to be very exact where the lines were, otherwise the animation wouldn't look correctly.
So we got Tiger up again. Alright.
Okay. I would laugh if one of the things it was just knees. Tiger's knees. To be even more
Tiger's knees.
Right? So what's cool is he actually, because he invented this, and because of the way that like copyrights and patents work, he was the only guy in the industry, or rather whoever he was working for, that was allowed to use this technique for 10 years. He was the only person that was allowed to do rotoscoping. And then once it opened up, then a lot of other companies and people started to use this technique, most notably on Snow White.
By the way, anybody who doesn't know the reference, E-Honda.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
E-Honda and then a Hadouken. Because if you remember, the Hadouken has their two hands clasped.
Yes.
You see the boxing glove on it.
There you go. There's other fantastic Street Fighter references right there. See, like, these guys love games and they love animation, and they did everything they could to let you know that in as subtle a way as possible.
Don't forget to use the...
Oh, the specials!
Right.
Yeah.
Just make sure you use them appropriately.
Right?
Alright, down to our last hit.
Yeah, so like Disney started using the rotoscope technique, other animators started using it. Oh no, no, no!
Ah!
Oh, you died trying to save me! This is terrible, this is shameful.
So we knew we were gonna get ourselves into this. We knew.
We knew it was gonna happen. Some of you might have grasped, or if it got edited in the video, I am farther in the game than this stage, so
It is, because we got to see the save file.
I actually have beaten this stage before, but I'm so busy geeking out about animation and video game history.
1, 2, 3. 1,
nice.
2. I can get it.
Yeah, so it's just a real fucking labor of love.
And people still wonder if video games are considered art or not.
It's not a question. It hasn't been a question for a really long time. Anybody that's still wondering whether or not
1, 2.
there's a proper answer to that question just hasn't been paying attention.
Right.
Like, video games are an art form. Absolutely. As much or more so than any other art form that has come before or will come after it. Yeah, and this game is definitely fucking proof of that. It's beautiful. I mean, this game was developed for the Xbox 360, a clearly more powerful system than the Switch.
It kind of goes to show that the game doesn't have to have like the super high-end graphics.
Exactly, but
Unreal or Frostbite or anything. To still have fun.
Exactly, and I mean they kind of took the Nintendo route, which was it doesn't matter that these other systems have better graphics. It all kind of comes out in the design. Like if you design it well enough, you design your characters well enough, and your backgrounds and stuff, and all your assets, it's gonna stand the it's gonna stand the test of time. It's not gonna matter if the graphics aren't as good; it'll hold up.
Oh my god! I can't believe I survived that.
Hence,
ow!
Like if anybody out there is a big fan of there's another YouTube channel. I'm trying to remember what they're called. I already forgot them. But somebody will remember it in the comments probably. Their whole deal is that they review ports and
save me! First save of the game.
There we go.
First save of the game.
On the record.
Ah!
Fucking life. What is it called? Something Digital Foundry. Their whole thing is that they do reviews for a lot of games, but based specifically about.
Got him.
Yes. Good shit.
Right there.
Can't see it or hear it, but there was a massive fist bump.
Actually, they might have. It was right by the microphone.
It was right by the microphones. Are we still just okay? We're still just okay. Just slightly above average.
Well, no, wait a minute. Maybe not the HP. No.
A B, still better than how I did in actual school.
That was good enough to get an extra 5 minutes of recess.
Yeah, there you go. If I'm not already on the wall because my name has been written up 3 times on the board and you get that little check.
All right, the more checks, he's like, you were screwed.
2 checks away from going to the principal's office. I don't remember what I was talking about. I just love this game. Is what I was trying to get at. Oh.
What do we got? What do we got?
You gonna talk to her?
Yeah, okay.
Are you doing the voice?
Be gone, spirits! Oh wait, you're real! I was about to hit you with the old parry move! That's how you deal with ghosts around here! Only a nitwit tries shooting someone when they ain't really there! Speaking of not being places, would you fellas mind moving on? You're spooking the fish! You know, that's actually kind of creepy. How she's trying to kill her own kind.
She's a cannibal. She's absolutely a cannibal.
Like, granted, maybe fish don't feel pain, but that's still disturbing.
We don't know that they don't feel pain, but we know that they don't have emotions because fish don't have any feelings.
Aww. Alright.
Like, oh, I totally forgot about this whole mini game.
Yeah. Wee. I'll do the left, you do the right?
Okay.
There you go.
And then I'll let them in, and then they'll be angry, and then I'll never do one of them.
And then you'll leave.
He gets so mad at me when we're not recording. You never get to hear it. He hates me.
You like it.
That's true. I do.
Would you like the ball gag on the next one?
I'm really angry that I didn't get it this time. I was promised a ball gag, and there was none, and I don't know why I'm here right now. God, just look at this animation. When I was a kid, I used to dream that we would get games that looked like cartoons.
Oh yeah.
That's what I always wanted. And if you look back at some of like the really good pixel art games, it almost kind of felt that way. But you look back at, I mean, if you play them now, then you can tell that obviously they're pixelated or what have you. But this game, it doesn't matter if we're gonna have like 1,000K screens. This game will always look beautiful because of the fact that every frame is hand-drawn, animated, so they can scale it up.
Want to do this one
to infinity. Gosh, I don't know how to thank you boys for saving me. Where are my manners? I didn't even introduce myself. I am known as the legendary Chalice. Pleased to meet you. I was searching for magic and got trapped by these ghosts. Those ghosts. Speaking of magic, please accept this gift. It should help. Also, I'm inside you now. There are other mausoleums around Inkwell Isle. I just wonder.
So basically you're telling us you're going to get captured a couple more times. That's what I heard.
Princess is in another castle, yo.
Mausoleum? Princess is in another mausoleum?
Princess is in another mausoleum.
Oh my god, we destroyed the mausoleum.
Just desecrating.
What have we done?
Desecrating graves. Dear me, you mustn't forget that magical super arts have to be equipped in the menu before use. I can't. What is the button?
Okay. Super art. Awesome.
Okay.
Got no charms. Alright.
That's the one. We did it. We destroyed a fucking
Yeah.
grave site. Hooray!
You know what? I'm gonna see if we can buy something. Let's go to the store.
Can we already afford upgrades?
Maybe. And there you go.
Port grinds and oh, that's right. I love this. I can see it.
Alright, let's see what we got. No, we cannot definitely
They
afford any of these.
They really went all in for the style because they were like, all right, we're gonna do this 30 style animation, but we're not just gonna do the animation. We're gonna do the fucking pops and clicks and
Every
and
little
dirty
thing.
film.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the distorted audio. We're gonna even use like the parlance of that time, like the fact that like they use words like wallop. Like it's so good.
I want to know what the process went when they were like, I have this idea.
Well, it was basically these two kids. They grew up. They were fans of video games, especially old run and gun style, like arcade style games.
Ah,
that were
you know
really
what?
difficult on Nintendo.
I forgot. We could have tried to go for the pacifist grade.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
Let's
too late.
shoot
It's
everything.
too late now.
And in addition to being fans of that, they were also fans of old school 2D animation, and they're just like, we've always wanted to make a game, and we fucking love old school 2D animation. What if we just married those two things together and made a fucking game like that? And they're like, yeah, that shouldn't be too difficult. And learned 3 years later that that was like
Difficult.
yeah, it was an insanely difficult endeavor to do. But I mean, fucking props to them for getting it done. At first, it was just the two of them, and then they hired another guy to kind of help with stuff. And eventually, they ballooned into a team of about 20 different people who, a lot of people might not know this, are all, for the most part, friends and family of the brothers that made this game. They hired a lot of family members, cousins, and friends of the family. So, like, it was, I've said a million times before, like, since we started this video, it was very much a labor of love. Like, they're just like, hey, we believe in this thing. Would you guys like to help us with it? And a bunch of people were like, fuck yeah, we would.
Good
Oh,
catch.
shit. Right into the other acorn, though. Yeah, and they went all in for it. And, it's funny because they actually, like a lot of games, the original version of this was different. So when they first kind of put together the first version of this game, it was just a boss rush. There were no levels like this.
Right.
There were no run and gun levels. It was just a boss rush, and I believe there were like 12 bosses or something like that. And then once they got funding from Microsoft, and they were like, ah, shit, I can't reach you. They were like, hey, we like what you're doing here. How would you like money?
I like money.
Here are these 2 giant bags of solid gold monies. Would you like them? And if we give them to you, you have to make your game a timed exclusive on our platform for like 2 years or a year. And they're like, yeah, we like solid gold monies. Let's do it. And
Actually, the coins in this game were the shape of the coins. that
yes,
Microsoft gave
exactly.
them.
They received a bag of
Full
those
of those
exact
things.
coins from Microsoft. They mint their own fucking solid gold monies. And then once they got the money, they're like, maybe we can expand this game. Well, and they demoed it, I believe, at one of the PAX conventions.
Which I still need to go to, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never been to either of those anyway. I've heard they're fantastic shows. And when they did that, they got really good feedback, and everybody